What's going on YouTube? Today I got a basic dribble tutorial for you guys. So I'm gonna break down just a few moves just to start all these off, like this combo right here. I'm gonna break down each move individually, like the sham god and the nutmeg. A lot of these descriptions, I'm not gonna lie, I already recorded it. Was kind of difficult to explain, so if anything gets a little confusing, I apologize. But just shoot me a comment or send me a friend request and I'll try to join a party and help you guys out. But other than that, this is only part one, so I'm just showing the basics right now. I'm not showing how to string it together. I'm just gonna break down each move individually, like I said, and next video I'm gonna show you guys how to string everything together. I'm gonna show you guys the angles, I'm gonna show everything else, and I'm gonna keep dropping more and more breakdowns. So without further ado, let's get into the video and hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna get into is connectors. Connectors are these little like moves right here after you do a dribble move. So say you do a move, you do something like that, that's a connector. Basically, it's just moving the left stick. You don't even have to flip the right stick. I know a lot of these dribble moves are gonna be with the right stick, but for your connectors, basically to string together all these little dribble moves that you're gonna be doing, and I'm gonna teach you guys, you just move the left stick. So say you do a crossover, you move the left stick to the probably like opposite direction, diagonal down. So ball's in the right hand, you do a crossover left, then you want to flick the left stick, or just hold the left stick, don't flick it, press and hold it, and put it like diagonal opposite of where you just did your crossover. So ball's in the left hand or right hand, I'm gonna do a crossover to the left, and I'm gonna bring the left stick diagonal down right, and I'm gonna get this. I held R2 right there, but you get that right there if you do it that way. Say you're dribbling, you do another move, you do a little connector like this, even that's a connector. Anything moving the left stick, and you don't even have to flick the right stick, it's just a connector. It's basically to reset your player, and then you can do other dribble moves out of it. So these are all connectors right here. You can actually string together connectors. I'm just holding the left stick and I'm just flicking it opposite ways, and then you see me, I can do a move out of it behind the back. So pretty simple. Connectors are really simple. I believe they'll start in 21, so if you know them by now, then you should be set to do a lot of these moves and string them together yourself. Next we're going to get in the sham god. The sham god, also another move, been in the game for a while now. Basically to do it, if the ball's in your right hand, you're going to run up the court and you're going to flick the right stick diagonal upright and then diagonal up left. So it's just going to look like this. It's pretty simple. You basically just a 1-2. It's pretty quick. You don't have to do it super fast or super slow. I believe you can do it slow because it's like a little hezzy. Nah, you can't. So the timing is really easy to get down. It's not something you have to master, and if you've been doing sham guys before, then you should be perfectly fine. Very simple move. Next we're going to get into the nutmeg. The nutmeg is another simple move, been in the game for a little minute now. The problem with the nutmeg is that it only triggers out of certain moves unless you have a certain behind the back on. I believe if you have Jamal Murray's behind the back, you can do a nutmeg out of anything. But if you only have if you have any other one, as of my knowledge right now, then you have to set up your nutmeg. So basically to set it up, you can do something like a connector, a little crossover, if I can get it off. But yeah, so you have to set up your nutmegs first. So to do the nutmeg, it's just doing it behind the back. If for some reason you don't know how to do it behind the back yet, I don't know why you're watching this video. It's like now I'm playing, but you basically just run up the court, you flick the right stick diagonal down opposite ball hand. So ball's in your right hand, you just flick the right stick diagonal down left. Ball's in your left hand, you flick the right stick diagonal down right. And that's basically how you do it behind the back. But now to bring in the nutmeg, after you flick the right stick diagonal down, then you got to flick the right stick up, and it's a pretty quick time, especially if you have Trae Young on. It's the fastest nutmeg, so you have to trigger it really fast. So say you do a crossover up the court, then you want to string it into a behind the back, you flick the crossover and then diagonal. It's so hard to pull off with the SIGs I have on, just trying to break it down. But yeah, so we're gonna break it down by doing a connector. So just do a connector and then flick diagonal. So say the ball's in your right hand, we're gonna do a connector, doing diagonal down left, Okay, so no, this is how we're gonna break it down. I'm sorry, this is my first dribble tutorial like this, so it's a little rough, but we're gonna run up the court, and then we're just gonna move the left stick. Ball's gonna be in our right hand. We're gonna move the left stick to the left, then we're gonna flick the right stick diagonal down right, then up to get the nutmeg. So it's just gonna look like this. It's not gonna look like that. Let me get it off first. Yeah. You guys can see how bad I am at these. There we go. So basically just practice it. The nutmeg itself, once you figure out which moves you can do to set it up, it's going to be extremely easy to figure out. So say you do a sham god, since I just taught you guys a sham god, that's how we're going to teach it. So ball's in your right hand, you do the little sham god, and then you flick diagonal down right, and then flick up immediately. And it's a really fast move. Unlike the sham god, you can do it kind of slow. The nutmeg you have to do really fast. So it's diagonal down, opposite ball hand, and then up really quick after you do it. So it's just a 1-2. It's a quick 1-2, unlike the nutmeg, unlike the sham god. So ball's in the left hand, do your little sham god, diagonal. Oh my god. See, I hate all these random moves that they threw in the game. Ball's in the left hand, you flick, do your sham god, flick diagonal down left, then flick up immediately. It's a really easy move to get down once you get the timing, but you just got to know which moves you can and can't do it out of, because if you're just dribbling up the court, you try to do it, it's not going to go through. And we don't want it not to go through, because then you're just going to get frustrated because you can't practice your moves right. So sham god is something you can set it up with, and that's a lot of ways that you're going to be able to string together your combos once you figure out how to get down the timing. All of this is going to come together, especially in my next one. But yeah, so I taught you guys the connectors. What else? This is the Luka step back, which we do a lot of moves out of. Do a step back, it's actually simple. You hold R2 and you just flick down, you get this little move. So this is going to be a key move to string together combos, and also it's like a little quick reset. You can do a connector out of it, and then that's another way to set up a lot of these. You do a sham god out of it, then get into that. With the nutmeg, once you get down the timing of the nutmeg, just figuring out your angles and how to run back and run to the side and how to trigger all of it, it just takes a lot of practice to figure out. But once you get all that stuff down, it becomes really simple. I think that's a lot of the moves that I do. Let me see, this is my go-to combo right here. Yeah, so all the rest of it, it's just the SIGs that you're using. So for me, I'm using Ja Morant aggressive breakdown. So that's how I started right there. And then I just run back with a connector. So to do the aggressive breakdown, I hold R2 and I flick the right stick up, and then it's just going to trigger this. It doesn't matter which hand the ball's in. You can do it either way. And then you're still going to get the same animation. That's Ja Morant. So you put on Ja Morant aggressive breakdown, you flick right stick up, and then once he does that first crossover, all I do is just hold the left stick down, so I get the little run back right here, and then I do a Luka step back. I just taught you how to do the Luka step back. You just hold R2 down, so you flick R2 up, you flick R2 up, you run back, flick R2, hold R2, flick down. So it's a real quick move. And then you just set it up right there, and then you can do a connector out of that just like that, and then you can string together the combos I just taught you as well. That's not Ja Morant, that's John Wall's crossover. It's the best crossover if you're trying to get glitchy, because look how far you can move. It's really easy to string stuff together out of it as well. So that's another crossover you want to have on. I told you guys in my SIG video. And then lastly, I think we're going to get into just the Trae Young behind the back. So with the Trae Young behind the back, it's this right here. It's the fastest behind the back. You're probably using Jamal Murray's, if I'm guessing, if you didn't watch my SIG video. So if you're using Jamal, you're gonna get a really slow behind the back, but you can really nutmeg easily. You don't have to set up your nutmegs like I said earlier. But this Trae Young right here, the reason why I'm using it is it's super fast, and you can get this little run back. So you might see in a clip that I already have, hopefully I can put it in the video. You might see in the clip that I do this behind the back and I just run immediately back. You can get this little run back, and it's the fastest way to run back. So basically, whichever way you do the behind the back, you want to just run opposite ball hand. So the ball's in my right hand. Once I flick diagonal down left, I want to just hold my left stick diagonal down left as well, and you're just going to keep running back because the ball stays in the same hand. So diagonal down left, run. Oops, I held that straight down. That's why I got that animation. Diagonal down left. My timing is just terrible. Diagonal down left, and then just bring it. Am I drunk right now? Okay, he just doesn't feel like doing it right now. Now I'm trying to explain it. There we go. So it's just a quick hold and flick, and then you can just run back easily out of it, which is why it's one of the better behind the backs if we're trying to get glitchy. But yeah, that's pretty much all the basic moves that I do. And then it's just depending on how you string together all these combos, and which allows for all the creativity and freedom of your own dribbling style. So you see the SIGs that I gave you guys. I'm gonna teach all you guys how to string it together, all the angles in the next one. I'm gonna try to get better at explaining these things. It's actually hella difficult to do, but I'm gonna get better at it for the next one, and I'm gonna explain a lot more, because going in depth with the angles of everything is very important of how to string things together. Because if you can't get your angles right, all your strings are going to be messed up. There's probably going to be a defender in front of you once you start getting these down. So all that matters too, because dribbling with this style, you lose the ball pretty easily. So I'm gonna teach you guys all the angles that I know, how to dribble properly with this style, and how to string everything together, and whatever else I can muster up too. So I think that's all I got for you guys. I hope none of this was too confusing. If it was, just shoot me, just drop a comment and I'll try to respond to it. Not try, I definitely will. And I'll try to help you guys out as much as possible. If I need to, you guys can send me a party invite and I'll help you guys out through there. I don't have a hand cam that I can set up, so I apologize for that. If I could, I would, but that's all I can pretty much do for you guys. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next one, and it's gonna be an advanced dribble tutorial, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to string it together. So I'll see you in the next one.